Hello and welcome to today's program, How to Move from Storefront to Shopify in Under an Hour. My name is Gregory Dunkling from the University of Vermont, and I'll serve as today's moderator. I won't be on screen, instead enabling our two presenters to have that honor. The University of Vermont's Continuing Education and BTVIgnite are co-sponsors of today's webinar. There will be two presenters addressing the topic. First, Andrew Stoller, and then Sarah Beal. Following, there will be a Q&A period. Feel free to use the chat area to post your questions. I'd like to now introduce today's presenters. Andrew Stoller is the founder and president of Stoller & Company, an e-commerce web design and development firm based in Baltimore, Maryland. He has over 25 years of experience in e-commerce, web design and development, lead generation, and search engine optimization. Stoller & Company serves a wide range of clients, from local retailers and services to national direct-to-consumer brands. His current focus is helping companies easily transition to online selling with Shopify and WooCommerce. Andrew resides in Towson, Maryland. Sarah Beal is owner of Commandeer in Burlington, Vermont. Sarah will offer insights into how they have successfully launched their e-commerce store. Commandeer promotes the availability of U.S.-made goods for the public. With a brick and mortar in Burlington, Vermont, and an e-commerce site at commandeer.com, they have grown to feature the work of over 500 makers, artists, and manufacturers. Commandeer calls itself a modern general store with gifts for everyone. Without further ado, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Andrew, who will present first. Then Sarah will follow. The last 20 minutes will be reserved for your questions, and we have some flexibility if we run over an hour with your questions. Take it away, Andrew.
All right. Thank you very much, Greg. From Storefront to Shopify, this is going to be a really quick, hopefully in about 25 minutes, I'm going to get you through just a broad overview of Shopify. Explain the benefits of Shopify, show how to choose a plan and set up a store, tour the core Shopify features and benefits, share some resources, and review a Shopify case study. And that's where Sarah's going to jump in and talk about her business and how they integrated it with Shopify. So anyway, what is Shopify? Shopify is, I'm sure everyone's heard of Shopify before. It's a leading e-commerce platform for online stores and retail point of sale. It has currently about 1.25 million active websites. It has about 118 million buyers over the last years, and it's in Ottawa, Canada, and it went public in 2015 at $28. I just checked the other day, it was at $655. So many people are bullish on Shopify, whether you're a retailer or if you're looking to make money. So it is the talk of the town in terms of e-commerce. It is cloud-based, meaning you do not have to provide hosting. The hosting is part of Shopify. It's ideal for small to mid-sized businesses. If you're a really large enterprise business, Shopify may not be the best fit for you. However, they do have a plan called Shopify Plus, which starts at about it's $2,000 a month. So some of the major like mattress retailers would use Shopify Plus, but for today we're going to be discussing the main Shopify, the basic plans, which are perfect for small to mid-sized businesses, retailers. It runs across multiple channels. You can sell on web, you can sell on social media and point of sale. Ideally, in my opinion, it's probably best for physical products. They say you can use it for digital products, services, and memberships. I think there's some other platforms that might fit the bill better for those. But today, if you are a retailer, uh, uh, Shopify is ideal. So let me, yeah, okay, sorry. Shopify is not the premier. It is one of the top ones. WooCommerce is right now in terms of installations online. WooCommerce is probably one of the more it's the biggest in terms of the number of stores that run the platform. Surprisingly, Squarespace is number 2. It's probably because it's just been around longer. Shopify is designed, however, strictly for e-commerce, and that's one of the advantages. As you can see that even though Shopify is only about 11% of the total e-commerce platform share, it is probably one of the fastest growing. Why Shopify? Number one, in my opinion, it's simple. There's no design or coding required. It's got a great interface. Again, it's cloud-based, so you don't have to worry about hosting. You can sell on multiple channels. It's affordable. It's very competitive in terms of the transaction fees. It has a large selection of free and paid themes and apps that you can add to it to add functionality, and it has really great support. So if you are a store owner and want to run a store yourself, they have a lot of support and can answer your questions. A few downsides is it is sort of somewhat limited in terms of the theme customization. So there are many themes you can choose right from the Shopify platform, and it's plug and play. But if you want to make customizations to those themes, you are going to need a programmer. In terms of some of the flexibility, there are some issues with checkout. In terms of many of my clients often will be asking for a single page checkout, and for Shopify they have a multi-page checkout, and but however it's highly optimized. It works great. It's wonderful in mobile, so I don't know if that's a really big negative. In terms of transaction fees, if you want to use a third-party payment provider, there will be some extra charges there. And again, it's a positive, but again, it can be a negative. For certain features, you do need to require some apps. Some of the apps can be pricey. They can add up. There are quite often monthly fees for those apps. Getting started is quite easy. If you were to go to Shopify.com and go to the pricing page, you'll see that there are a few basic programs or plans rather. The basic one starts at $29 a month. So what you'll normally do is you'll have a basic monthly fee, and then on top of that you'll pay your transaction fees. If you go to the $79, you can, rather than going through the comparison now, if later you can go to the pricing page. It has a big comparison. You can go and see the differences. The $79 one is probably the most popular for my clients. It will offer up to 5 users. The transaction fee is a little bit lower. The basic Shopify is great if you're just starting out. However, when you do sign up, it will give you, for a certain amount of time, the complete package. So and then after, I believe it's like 30 days, so it clicks into a paid plan. So what I'd like to do right now is just go through a quick overview, jump into the jump into the, what I'd like to do is jump over to my screen here. Let me see. Essentially, what I want to just do is give you a little background of the back end, uh, customizing the theme, and adding products. But if we can, let me just get through the slides, and if we have a few minutes before Sarah, I'll figure that out. So Shopify has, what's great about Shopify is there are many built-in features. So if you compare it to something like a WooCommerce, which is a plugin for WordPress, there are many features built in. So one being Shopify Payment. Shopify Payment is their built-in processing. It is very, if you're similar to Stripe, it's something like that. It's very good competitive pricing. It's similar to what you would pay for a PayPal or any major credit card. It also has PayPal built in, so you can use your PayPal as your payment method. It also has built-in accelerated payments, meaning you can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, and Amazon Pay right built into your shopping cart. And then there are third-party providers. If you use, there's like over 100 third-party providers. The only downside of this, again, if you are using a third-party provider, you're going to have to pay the fee from your provider, plus it's going to be a range of up to 2%. On top of that, you're going to have to pay to Shopify. So, but just going back to the Shopify Pay. Shopify Pay is great, and I find most of my clients use Shopify Pay. Another great built-in feature they have is called Shopify Shipping. Now, many merchants will have a shipping process already in place, and it integrates with other like ShipStation and other apps like that. But if you're just starting from scratch, you want to start shipping from your retail location, for example. Shopify Shipping is a great option. What you can do is you sign up for Shopify Shipping. It automatically out of the box works for USPS, UPS, and DHL, and you can display calculated shipping rates. You can get reduced rates for your shipping labels, and you can print labels directly from your Shopify admin. So you can just, for example, if you have products that are different weights and different shipping, if you have the Shopify shipping integration, you'll see that it'll adjust the shipping in your checkout. It also will print the labels, and you can either get a label printer, or you can just print it directly out of a regular printer. So that's very handy, especially if you're starting out and you don't want to get all involved in or all the other aspects of the shipping. And Sarah certainly can touch on that when she speaks about shipping. Shopify has apps and integrations, like I mentioned before. Again, if you're familiar with WooCommerce, apps are essentially the equivalent of a WooCommerce plugin. So there's the core functionality, and for some people, you'll probably be able to accomplish a lot with the core functionality of Shopify. However, there are some apps that are available. Some are free, some are paid for like marketing, traffic building, integration with other third-party services that you use, like a ShipStation or that sort of thing. any other additional features, say you want to have a abandoned cart plugin. Now, Shopify offers uh, some basic features for if someone starts a checkout and they don't complete the purchase. But if you wanted a more full-featured application, you can go to the App Store. If you go to the App Store at the apps.shopify.com, you can see there's hundreds and hundreds of different apps. So that would be good to check out if you're thinking about Shopify. Again, I mentioned that there are multiple sales channels. You can not only sell online, but with Shopify, it integrates well with Facebook. You can actually sell items on Facebook. You can integrate with Amazon. There's a buy button, which is great because what you can do is you can generate a button to, if you're selling a product on your site, you can basically export that code and then drop it into another site. So say you have an existing website that isn't e-commerce capable, or if you were sending out an email and you were trying to sell, if you wanted to sell a product, you could drop this buy button just about anywhere, and that will add the item automatically to your cart. You can integrate with Facebook Messenger and Instagram. So that's great. And Shopify also, just I wanted to touch on this real quick. They have gotten heavily into the point of sale for some retailers. If you're looking for a fully integrated point of sale, if you go to hardware.shopify.com, you'll see they have a lot of new products where you can use a swipe. It's a wireless card swipe that integrates with your iOS device. You could have a physical checkout hardware, and you can use the Shopify POS you could create a cart for each customer on the fly, modify the cart by adding or removing products, and it also accepts Shopify payment. So that is something that it's a good fit for certain retailers. I just wanted to highlight some Shopify resources. Shopify, one of the big benefits of Shopify is the knowledge base. It's help.shopify.com is an excellent resource for just about any information that you need. Again, I had a little trouble logging into the back end. I apologize, but if just about on every page, there's a link to the knowledge base. So if you have a question about, for example, discounts or setting up a discount, or they also have built-in gift cards. If you're going to want to set up a gift card, all you really need to do is you go in and click and say, okay, I want to add a $50 gift card so somebody can purchase a gift card from my site. All you need to do is go in, and then there's a little link at the bottom. You click on that, and it'll just walk you right through how to set up a gift card. They have a very extensive YouTube channel with lots of videos. They have a forum, so if you've had any specific questions, or maybe someone has a question that you've had, or they've had a question or the same question, you can go to the forums. They also have a blog, which is excellent. It'll give you marketing tips that are specific to Shopify. They also, if you're wondering how can I take some better product photos, you can go to their blog, and that has a lot of great resources. And of course, they have the 24/7 support. So if you have a question, you can always email them or go on the chat and they can walk you through. So anyway, I think right now would be a good time to hand over to Sarah. If we do have some time, and after questions, if I can work out my issues here on my screen share, I can jump over and we can show you the back end. But I would like Sarah to jump in and talk a bit about her store and how she's made Shopify a important part of her business. So, Sarah, you
Great.
ready?
Yeah. Well, thank you,
Okay.
Andrew. And thanks for UVM for setting this up, and Adam for reaching out to me. So I think Andrew just kind of did a quick, everyone can hear me, right? We're good? Good? Okay, cool. Everyone, the picture in the beginning was my mom. So we started the store about 7 years ago. And our goal was to make America Made more accessible. We did start our original storefront on the Shopify platform, and then we moved to be, we have a back-end POS system that works with Shopify. So Shopify is still our like guest-facing website management. So we very much rely on Shopify for our web store sales. And so I definitely am very interested in keeping other small businesses afloat during this crazy time. We were lucky enough to always have the digital component to our business, but obviously things look very different right now for us, as well as everybody else. So I'm just here mostly to give some context to what Andrew was saying, but also some quick tips, and hopefully I can answer some questions. But I'm going to throw a lot at you, and hopefully it will be helpful. But first, I think it's really important just to kind of take an inventory of your staff's skill sets. So who on your staff loves to take photos, who likes to write, who is detail oriented and can help with fulfilling orders, who is really good at talking with customers, has always been good with dealing with the issues. So definitely, being able to manage questions on like the size of a certain dish or like the fit of a certain sweater. There's gonna be a lot more of guest-facing customer service that's digital. And then if you don't have a staff that's, you're able to pull these skills from, are there family members or friends that you can lean on, or ways that you can manage the back-end technology of things, where it will be helpful for you to, I guess, like get going on all this. The next thing I would say is prioritize and evaluate your products. Sorry, yeah, there we go. Thank you, Andrew. I don't have control over the bullets, but Andrew's doing a good job with that. So prioritize and evaluate your products. I think it's super daunting as a retail store to be thinking about how much you think you need to get online, but I would say evaluate things on your own, like ranking systems. So the ways that we analyze whether something is onlineable, and we've always called it that, is whether it's going to be easy to get online, i.e. we have access to a photo or a description of the item, how easy it would be to ship or deliver that item. Some things are going to be a lot easier to deliver. So for instance, we actually don't put certain things on our website because we know they break pretty easily, but we would be open to delivering them, and our customer has kind of understood that. And then another thing that we evaluate things on is like how much stock we have of it, so how deep we are in it, and then also like how great of a seller is it. So if something is, we have like one of it, it doesn't sell well, and it's really hard to take a photograph of it, just don't even think about it until you've gone through all the other ones that are higher ranked. So figure out a system that works for your business, and then determine like your top 20 or 30 or 40 onlineable products and start there. So it kind of makes it where you're going to be able to build a smaller storefront and scale up. And then with that, I would say set attainable goals for yourself. So, is 10 products a day doable? Is 20? Are you able to train one of your staff members to be able to get these things online? Definitely kind of coming up with a really easy system for you to not get overwhelmed by getting everything online. And I would, make then your marketing cycle and how you're pushing these products out mirror that. So if you're going to release 20 new products in this week, how can you say that to the customer, like, we just got 20 new sweaters, or we just got 20 new shoes, or whatever your items are, putting those things online and kind of communicating to your customer that you are releasing them, but that just means you put them online. And on our website, we actually say newly online, and we've always said that, and it kind of shows people that, like, we might have this thing for a while, but we just put it online. So that's been how we've always done it. Next, photography and copy. I think people always think that they have to have the best photography to release their website. And so I used to build websites before running a retail store. So, and that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, I'm anywhere farther ahead than anybody else. I think just it's always a huge hurdle for people about, oh, well, I don't have a good enough photography to start a website. I would say 3 to 4 semi-quality photos that either are pictures of your storefront, pictures of your products, pictures of your team, pictures of you would be enough to start. So I think everyone has at least 3 to 4 photos, and you can, if you don't have those, ask your best customers if they have photos of your products at home. Ask your team if they've ever taken photos in the store, and if you need to, just grabbing your photos from your Instagram is also great if you have that. One little tip I would give you is that if your photos are not wide enough, you can always add like a block of color to one side and then like add text over it. So you kind of have like you can see it on, I think it's on one of our heroes still. So Shopify, most of the themes have large full width photos, and that is a hard photo dimension to get because almost all of us have like little square photos or just like little 4x6s. So if you need to do that, just having a photo and putting text and color on one side would be super helpful to you, just kind of get more photos in your arsenal for being used on photography or for the general website pages. Then I would also say for photographer product, don't overwhelm yourself with it. Most of the photos that we have on our website for the product pages are actually taken on an iPhone. There's many apps out there. If you just search for like remove background of image, you can clip around a product to make it kind of look a little more I guess the same on your site, or if you're going to use like a background, kind of like make it where you can duplicate that really easily moving forward. Don't overcomplicate it. And then other hints for photography, definitely rely on your vendors. Your vendors almost always are going to allow you to use their photos. In most cases, I would say ask for permission. Same thing goes for descriptions and copy. So ask them first before you use it, and that's going to be a great way for them to sell more product through you. So it's usually a win-win for everyone. Same goes also, they might have styled photos for you to use for your general pages. So if you have like a pair of jeans, or you have a baking shot using their products, they might be interested in you using it and highlighting them on your homepage. Other copy that I would spend time writing would be just stuff about like your return policy, your shipping policies, anything that kind of explains a little bit more to the customer about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And then also just a general little like why you're in business would be super helpful to kind of get the customer to buy from you. Another thing also to include in there is stuff related to right now. So COVID policies make it pretty clear that you are open and you're shipping, but the safety protocols that you're taking to keep them safe and your staff safe would be important to have pretty front and center. On our site, we have a bar at the top, which is easily able to be added in most Shopify themes in the back end. And then you can link to more information there. Okay, shopping supplies and fees. So there's a lot to cover here, and I'll just kind of explain what I do or what we do. So first of all, I would say determining what shipping fees make sense to you from the beginning is a big deal. So we chose to not put individual weights on individual items or products from the beginning because we were going to charge flat rate shipping. But if you'd rather do real rates, put the weight in for each item, and you can guesstimate this. It doesn't have to be exact. But we have a 2-tiered flat rate shipping, so it's $10, and then we have a much more expensive option, which we refund the difference. It's a lot more work on our end, but people self-select if they think their item is going to be in the top tier, which, yeah, it's a little complicated, but we've always charged for shipping. I think free shipping is a tough one. You can't unring the bell once you ring it, so I would definitely make a decision on whether it's sustainable for you. We typically like to use it as a tool in our toolbox to turn more sales on if we need them, rather than having it be an automatic expectation of the customer. Yeah, I could do an hour on just free shipping. But anyways, so to make shipping a little more, I guess, like easy to tackle, I would recommend picking or like determining like 4 to 8 or 4 to 10 different shipping scenarios. So say you're going to be shipping like a mug and a t-shirt. What does that look like, and what size box are you going to ship that in, and what materials are you going to need? And then from there decide which shipping supplies to order, and don't overdo it. Don't order more than you think you're going to need. And I do highly recommend using the boxes that you receive in receiving. We've always done that, and the customer usually is very understanding, and you do not need to worry about branding your boxes. We never have. We have stickers that we put on the box so people know where the thing is coming from, and you can, yeah, just don't brand your boxes. It's really unnecessary. And the other thing that I would recommend getting, definitely getting a shipping scale. It's going to make your life a lot easier to ship and buy all of your stuff before you even bring it to the post office. We use Shippo as an app in the back end. I prefer it for its speed and ability to like track the shipments all on one page. And you can add insurance easily. I think there's a bunch of different shipping options. Shippo is the one that we prefer. And then what other things for... Oh, I do highly recommend priority shipping. And then if you also do that, USPS, you can buy, quote unquote, you can get free boxes from them online if you ship priority. So it's another way to cut a cost out of your fulfillment structure, I guess. Next, so triple check. I would highly recommend creating a system that you triple check what you're shipping out. we make mistakes all the time, and it is a lot more work on the other end. You can fix it. The customer is usually very understanding. But if you can set up systems now where you're double checking that the thing you're sending and the size of the thing you're sending is the correct item, highly recommend it. And then also only work on one order at a time. So never have more than one order on your table at once. You will put the wrong label on the wrong thing, and it will be really annoying. I've done it a bunch of times, and the only way I have learned to avoid it is if there's one thing I'm working on at a time. Communication. I could speak for a full day about marketing and community management as well. Andrew spoke briefly about the notifications in the back end for Shopify. So these are the notifications that are like when a customer orders something, when their order is fulfilled, when their order is shipped. These things, I believe, are all default and happen automatically. You do not need to turn them on, but years down the road, if you wanted to make adjustments to them, you can and add important details in there. But I personally would just leave them as they are. And then Shopify is automatically going to start collecting email addresses for you. So figure out a way to like remarket to these customers. I would highly recommend. We use MailChimp, which no longer really like speaks to Shopify automatically as of last year. It's great. But I would recommend looking at the different ones that Shopify does recommend using, and just start somewhere with an easy, simple email of like, oh, these are the 20 products that we put on the website this week. You know, your customer will be listening. They're excited to support you. It's just going to take a little bit to kind of start communicating them in a new way. The emails and your social media are all going to be your new sandwich board. So just think of that as like, we just got to get them to the website, and then your website, you're going to be able to like grow it and make adjustments to it. But just getting them to your website is the email, and the social media are going to be your new sandwich board. And then whenever your customer does communicate with you, and you do have to talk to them, not have to, you do get to talk to them, sorry. Just be really transparent and honest with them. Like for instance, we are unable to offer curbside pickup because we have a shared bathroom in our space, and so therefore, it's a long story, but anyways, it's not safe for our staff to be in there. So we're fulfilling out of our home. And while this does upset customers, when I explain to them the reason why we're doing it, there has actually not been any loss in sales for that. So everyone has actually, okay, great, I will do the system that you need me to do. I'll do the delivery. So just being transparent and who you are about it is really important. You know, we also get like orders that, you know, for one card, even though we say like we don't sell one card alone, we don't make enough money in the margin to have that make sense. And I've explained that to countless customers, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. No, I totally understand. I'll go buy something else. So I think just being really transparent that you are a small business and you're working really hard to like make this work. Your customer will meet you there. And those that don't, then they're not your customer anyway. Okay. And lastly, I would say breathe. I have to remind myself all the time to do that. There's a lot on our plates to make this all work. It's really stressful, and I don't want to downplay that at all. But one thing that's positive right now is that you do have time to get your store digital and to scale how you tackle this project, leaning on your team and kind of seeing what other skills people have or interests and what they've always wanted to do or things that they wanted to learn. And again, just don't feel like you have to have everything be perfect or completely polished, but you're going to be building something new, and so just be really kind and patient with yourself. That would be my biggest takeaways and quick tips. But yeah,
Great.
That's it. Sorry, it's a lot.
Sarah, this is Greg. Thank you very much. There were some questions that came in, and this is the Q&A period, so feel free to add your questions in the chat area. We'll entertain them. There was a question that came in that had to do with how does one learn about sort of the operation of Shopify if they want to get their hands on it? I mean, obviously, one option would be to do the least expensive registration and pay by the month and get in there and work with the platform. But if you didn't want to do that, are there YouTube videos? Are there other places that people might go to get a sense of how you start with Shopify?
Do you want me to answer
Andrew,
that
you want
one?
to do that?
Okay, sure.
I'll fill in if you need me to.
Okay, sure. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, there are many great resources, starting with the help, the YouTube. They have a YouTube channel. There's there's other channels as well that aren't associated with Shopify, but I would start with Shopify. It's very thorough. However, personally, everybody learns differently. I tend to need to get in there and start clicking around. So my suggestion would be is just to jump right in. It's free initially. They don't gonna ding your credit card right off the bat. So what you do is you go in. You don't need a domain to start. What they'll do is you'll get started. It'll ask you some questions. You don't even have to start up your payment or anything. It'll just ask you what's the name of your store, and then it's going to give you a temporary, and it's not actually, it's a permanent domain, but if it's like mynewstore.myshopify.com, and that's going to be your domain until you decide I'm going to either I can purchase a domain from Shopify, or I have a domain from GoDaddy or somewhere and I want to link it to my store. So you can then jump in, and again, it's just, you can start clicking around. Every page you go, there's going to be a link. If you're on the discount codes page, or add a product, so how do I add a product? Or then you click on it, and then it takes you to the knowledge base page. It'll tell you, okay, well, the ideal size for your product photos. To me, just getting in and getting your hands dirty and playing around with the store, you can't break it. There's a default theme. It's called Debut. You can just play around with that theme, and then later, if you choose, you can change to another theme, or you can purchase a theme. But really, I think it's much easier to go through the videos and go through the knowledge base if you're sitting in front of your dashboard of your site.
And is there a 90-day free period? Is it 90 days?
I believe. I should know that. It's actually, if you go to the sign-up page, let me double check here.
Or is actually saying, yes, there is 90 days. So some other people are confirming that it is. Yeah.
Okay, 90.
Yeah, and I would say that's 90 days free trial, but if you have a sale, it's not free.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is it'll create sort of like a password protected, so it won't be public. So you can play around with it, and by default, when you create a new account, it's going to create a passcode. So if you have someone who you want to view your site, you can give them the passcode, and then they can go in and take a look at what you're working on. But so initially, you can collaborate with a couple people and work on your site, start adding products, and nobody's going to see it until you click on the button to say make it public.
Great. Taryn has a question about is there a market on Shopify for restaurants and delivery meals style ordering? Is there that option there?
I know if you go to the Shopify theme store, there is a category for restaurants. I would say that it depends on your needs. There are some other platforms out there that are specific to restaurants, so it would be a much more robust interface related just to like your menu and ordering. So, I definitely would take a look at it. Go in, take a look at the different themes you have. I personally have clients who use, well, not Shopify per se, but uh, like a WordPress, and then they have like a plugin that they can use for their restaurant, and there may be some apps for Shopify that are focused uh, more towards uh, restaurants, but I'd have to look into that.
Megan asks, do your customers have to opt into your marketing email newsletter, or do you send marketing emails to every email you attain through the purchases?
I was kind of interfacing with Megan, I think, on here. It really depends on what you say in your like details of your ordering. So we have a regulation that says something in there of like you're automatically added to our email list and you have to opt out. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of there are many hoops that you have to jump through regarding email marketing and data usage, but don't overwhelm yourself. If you're looking to send an email to 10 to 200 people, you're not going to be getting into a major compliance lawsuit. So don't worry about that. But it's just whether or not your customer is going to be annoyed. Just make it really easy for them to opt out or unsubscribe to your emails. That would be my recommendation. I don't know if
Okay.
and then also, I would just add to the first question regarding, learning the back end. So our experience, I am always Googling how to do certain things and make certain changes to something that I'm doing on our website. And there's tons of forums, there's tons of YouTube videos. Like, I would just be really specific about what you're looking to do, and you will find lots of resources available to you. So we do that, and I'm sure even the bigger people do that as well.
Ryan asked the question, is Shopify a good platform for selling ebooks?
You can sell digital goods through Shopify, and I think it would be a good one. There are some uh, good plugins for WooCommerce as well, but again, then you're getting into a lot of integrations, and but you can sell digital products in Shopify, so that is certainly something you could do.
Okay. We have some other questions coming in. Just a moment.
I think just while the next question's coming in, I would like to just stress that Shopify is great, particularly for a business like Sarah's, where it's physical products. That's really where it's really the best. Like when you start getting into like digital products, subscriptions or memberships, if you get into um, restaurants and ordering menus. I think before you pull the trigger, it would be good to sort of just research some other options. But if you're looking to sell merchandise that's shippable, Shopify is definitely probably one of your top options.
Sarah, this might be a question for you. Are you using your site as a same-day click and collect site?
Yeah, so yes and no. So we don't really use like an app within Shopify for it, just to kind of like roll back a couple years, we have always run our website as a like regarding robo, which is research online, buy offline, buy offline. So it's usually been the reason why we spend so much time and energy putting stuff on our website is to communicate it to our customer, which is actually digital first now. So it used to be that people would be in the store and would want to buy it online after they learned about it in the store, but that is actually shifted, and they want to buy the item more immediately in the store, having learned about it online. So not always, but that's what we've always assumed with our customer base. And so while we don't have our storefront and we're not offering curbside pickup, we are doing delivery. And I do recommend there is a website. I'm not going to get it right unless I Google it. It's Optimo, so OPTIMO route, ROUTE.com. So OPTIMO ROUTE.com. I'll put that, I can actually, yeah, there you go. That has been really helpful for us to be able to get the delivery really down. Even if you have like 3 to 4 deliveries to make, it gives you the route where it will have the least number of left turns, which is crazy, but it's less dangerous for your staff and it's also less time consuming, but it also will put them in an order where it makes sense, so you're not doing it all by hand in Google Maps. And you can schedule them, and you can tell the customer, I'm going to be there at this time, and we have been really diligent about developing a system for that delivery, because that I think is a lot easier than the shipping. And if you go into our website and you go into the cart, you can see that people can pick the doorstep drop off or the delivery. And Shopify, one little quirk about Shopify is that the cheaper method will always be first. So as you can see, once you get there, that it is $10.01 for delivery, and that is so that the delivery methods always show up secondary to the shipping methods. If you are going to offer a free shipping option or free delivery option, I do recommend charging for it and then saying it will be refunded afterwards, so that it does not charge the people that are shipping it, because collecting that money is a lot harder than refunding that money. So that's just one recommendation. I will put that website in the chat.
Great. Adam has added some additional information about those who are looking for platforms specifically for restaurants and for online ordering, takeout for restaurants. So thank you, Adam, for that.
Greg, I just like to say one thing too. I was, in terms of the digital books or any digital downloads, I checked on the App Store, and Shopify has a free app. It's one of the Shopify produced apps, so it's well integrated into Shopify. So you can use that for digital downloads. So that would be worth looking into if you're interested in selling digital products. And again, one thing that's really great about Shopify is right out of the box they have gift cards. So I don't know, Sarah, if you'd sell gift cards through, do you sell gift cards through the Shopify?
We do. I have a workaround. It's a little bit more complicated. I can actually tackle two of these that question and the inventory function. We have a different POS system that manages our inventory, but we have a bridge. I won't go into the details. We have a bridge software that talks to Shopify, but yes, Shopify does manage our inventory. Yes. And so we do sell our gift cards online, but I have to like physically transfer them over to a digital gift card because our store gift cards and our digital gift cards are different. It's really fun. But yeah, so the Shopify gift card option is a lot more, or a lot easier. You just pretty much say add gift card to products, and it'll allow you to do that much more seamlessly than I have to, but it's okay.
And it's very nice. It'll send out an email to the purchaser with a QR code, and it's very nicely integrated. So.
I would like to just bring to your attention on the screen now, you can learn and earn a badge, a digital badge for participating today, and here's some information. We'll send all of this to you if you would like to reach out to us for that purpose. And I would like to thank Sarah Beal from Commandeer and Andrew Stoller, President of Stoller and Company, for today's presentation. We'd also like to thank all of you for participating in your great questions. A recording of this event will be soon possible and available and sent to you directly, along with a resource page that was generated by BTVIgnite. You may find helpful as a follow-up to today's presentation. If you want some assistance in actually getting yourself Shopify'd, there are resources there to help you lift your e-commerce store, and this information will be sent to you as a follow-up. And finally, a big thank you to BTVIgnite for their work in making this event possible. So Sarah and Andrew, thank you so much. And we will try to get that recording of the back end from Andrew so that that can be part of our program as well when we send it to you. So thank you all, and have a good day.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.